Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I'll be speaking on personal psychology and how you can understand yourself. Because once you begin to unravel the deeper things and get a closer look, a deeper understanding on who you are and why you are the way that you are, you can understand this whole life better and relate more with other individuals. Therefore, you're going to be able to create a strong network. And you've all heard that cliche. It's like you are the average of the five people you spend the most time around, whether it's in physical reality or the people that you listen to. But let's get into it. To know yourself, we have to educate ourselves. That's where this all begins. And one area that I overlooked, did not understand for a long time, was this concept that is called unlearning. And if you're new to it, what unlearning is just as a computer has programs and software, and to install a new program, you have to uninstall the older version. This is what unlearning is when you apply it to a human. See, we will get beliefs, ideas, concepts, etc., implanted into our mind, into our personal philosophy. And if we are not aware that those underlying beliefs, concepts, and systems are there, then there's nothing to unlearn. But once we begin to notice, oh, wow, I'm actually being programmed every day, every second. See, your subconscious mind can process like 100 times the amount of information that your conscious mind can process. Therefore, your subconscious mind is always listening. And when we are not aware of what we're doing, what we're listening to, who we're surrounding ourselves with is affecting our subconscious, you're missing a huge piece of life, because that right there is going to change your whole world. When you become a bit more intentional with where you put yourself and what you do with your days. Here's the simplest way to explain it. You need to make the shift from viewing energy and time as something that gets spent to viewing it as an asset that is to be invested. Okay? That is it right there. Once you realize that your time and energy must be intentionally invested because it's limited, you have one life, one mind, you don't live forever, you don't have unlimited energy. So we might as well choose our hard, okay? You have two choices. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to be obese. It is also hard to be ripped and wealthy. So, but here's the thing. One of those hards is better than the other one. You know, it's not good to be broke and obese. That's not the better hard. We have to identify what our desires are. What are your natural curiosities? What do you want in life? And for me, for a lot of people, those are loaded questions. We don't know. So where I would point you to start is get real clear on who you don't want to be, what you don't want to feel like, and reverse engineer from there. But this idea comes to mind. And the idea is that we need to become sick of being sick and tired. See, what your desire probably is. I mean, if you're listening to this, I'm assuming that you desire to learn, to grow, to build. But before you have those higher desires, you're going to desire an easy life, a content life. Well, that's how I felt in the beginning. And all I wanted was to create an easy experience. Eventually, that want led me to having so much pain in my life that I said, no, I'm done being sick and tired. So my desire was to reduce the amount of suffering that I felt. And see, this is probably your reality. You don't make changes until the pain gets unbearable, until it's like, no, I need something different. And right there, that's the sign right there. When you are done feeling the way that you continue to feel, that is where your whole life changes. And of course, it doesn't change quickly. Good things take time, but that is when you commit to becoming your best version of yourself, becoming your most. To become your most, you want to have some understanding of psychology, physiology, a bit of history, the deeper truths of this world. Hint, they are found through the studying of spiritual domains. And there's a fine line. What you want to do is to pair practical education, understanding body language, tone of voice, health, how to exercise, all of these very fundamental basic things, financial education, financial literacy. Yeah. You pair those practical tools with deeper emotional, psychological, and spiritual education. When you combine both practical and deeper emotional, spiritual knowledge, wisdom, wisdom, not knowledge. When you combine the two, you'll get something great. And so one of the laws that I've learned from the deeper education is cause and effect. And it's a universal law, pretty much. If you put out negativity, you will receive that. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the moment, but it will come back to you. Karmic debt, that is this idea of what I just said. And when you get some good karmic debt by thinking positively, by not judging others, by relinquishing your want to blame, to criticize, but instead looking for the positive lessons even within negative situations. See, quick example. Your girl cheats on you. Well, she's not your girl, but you get cheated on. Okay. That is a negative, uncomfortable situation. But what I would challenge you to do is to look for the positive in that. Well, guess what? You're not getting played anymore. You got cheated on once. You feel some pain. It's time to look and reflect upon, oh shit, what were the red flags that she was giving me before this happened? Because trust me, man, there are red flags. You can find these characteristics, traits, tendencies within another individual, and you can learn from that. You can take an uncomfortable situation and turn it into a positive takeaway, and now you won't allow yourself to get played by those same tendencies in the future. Now, maybe you need to get cheated on again. Maybe you're looking for the wrong type of woman. But my point is that there are positives to be found even in the darkest moments, but that is a psychological understanding. See, most people will say, oh, she did this, she did that. Woe is me. I'm the victim. She cheated on me. She's this, she's that. No, bro, like shut up. You need to realize that you put yourself in that situation. You attract the people that are similar to you. Okay. And this is, I'm talking to myself too. If I'm ranting, if I'm getting, aggressive, it's because this shit happened to me in the past because I was not paying enough attention. I was distracted and uneducated. Yeah. But I'm not mad about it either. It's just, if I could help you not go through negative situations due to sharing lessons and education, that makes me happy. So hopefully you don't go through that due to hearing this. Understanding yourself. See, if you're listening to this, you probably want to grow, learn, be better. And what's going to happen to you is you're going to want to share the insights, the tactics, the strategies, the actions, the habits that changed your life for the better. You're going to want to share that with other people. But the reality is, a hard, tough reality is that you can't convince people to want a better life. See, like I mentioned, they have to get sick of being sick and tired. And what you want to do is to pour your energy into the few people who you notice are looking to grow with you. See, less is more. You probably are going to be better off with a smaller, tighter circle of high quality people compared to having, a huge, large circle of low quality acquaintances. And when you make that differentiation and you notice, okay, these are the people that are with me, these are the real ones, you give them most of your energy, you give them most of your time. And it's just much better to have quality over quantity. When it comes to understanding yourself, you want to get real clear on what you're curious about. And I remember I felt fucking no interest in anything besides money, girls, and cars. Like, that's what I guess I was programmed to love. And I didn't know like what I wanted to do at all. I had no natural interest besides like those things in sports. That's what I left out. But what it comes to is, even if your interest, like example, I got into trading the stock market due to that financial need, that want to make money. That actually led me down psychology, that route. And I wasn't interested in psychology. I really didn't know what psychology was. I couldn't care less. But then eventually, just as life unravels, you're going to find a natural interest. So what I want to urge you to do there is, don't forget about your basics. Even when life isn't going well, when you're unsure, you don't have a clear vision, a purpose, a mission, that is when you need to prioritize the basics. And if you never give up on yourself and you take care of your body and your nutrition, even if your other areas like your business, your mind, your emotions aren't great, if you continue to take care of your physical body, things will get better. I promise you that. I promise you that. But don't believe me. Test it out. Test that out. And what I want you to know is, starting is better than procrastinating. You will suck when you start. Oh my gosh, if you're enjoying this video, just take a look back at my first video I ever made. Horrible compared to this. And that's a tough thing to go into. See, you've heard it. When you step out of your comfort zone, that's when good things happen. But how difficult is the action of doing that? It's not an easy thing. It's much easier to stay in your complacent little comfort zone. And that's what the fuck I was doing. I did that until the pain got too much. I was like, no. The pain was just so deep. And that's your sign. So I love this. Uncomfortable feelings and emotions are not a bad thing. What they are is a sign, a signal from the creator, from the universe, from the deeper knowings of who we are, what we are. It's a sign that your actions need to change. Okay? Uncomfortable feelings are telling you something. Listen to the signals. Change your actions. Okay? I want you to look into this idea of energy and frequency. So here's just a few examples. Example number one: you consume low quality food like Wendy's. It's animal protein, but it's the cheapest, lowest quality animal protein that has binders, and you're consuming the straight up just the cheapest product from animals. So that means those animals are going to be fed the cheapest fuel that they can possibly have. You see, it's a feedback loop. But the point is, the cause is low fuel. And the effect is that your body, oh, I have to sneeze so bad. Your body is going to be low energy, along with your mind being foggy and lackadaisical. That's due to your fuel. So cause, shit fuel, effect, low quality feelings and energy. Another example, you focus your attention on that which is out of your control. Okay, for example, I would not recommend watching the news, but you turn on that news and what pops up? Oh, a war. Of course, a war. Always fear, fear, fear. What they do is, see, there are frequencies, and courage is the turning point in the frequency spectrum. But below courage is fear and other negative emotions. So when you're in a state of frequency of fear, your mind is going to be thinking low frequency thoughts, which are scarcity mindset, victim. You don't control anything and you're helpless. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel quite bad, low quality. So what I'm getting at is you want to be very detailed. Like I mentioned, the subconscious earlier, you need to be detailed in what you choose to focus your attention on. Listen, you focus your attention on how beautiful the bees and the flowers are, how nice and warm the sun feels on your skin, how amazing the wind chimes sound when the wind is just going nice and mellow. You focus your attention on good things, you feel good. You focus your attention on bullshit that's out of your control, that puts you in a low frequency state, you're going to feel bad, okay? So what I want you to do is to aim to cut out distractions and become more mindful and intentional with what you're putting your attention on. Because once you understand that, you can realize, oh my gosh, I'm in much more control of how I feel on a minute to minute, moment to moment basis than I ever would have imagined. That's a cheat code, because that's what life is. Life is not the past or the future. Life is right now. There's nothing else besides this current moment. See, you can think about the past and the future, but that's not happening. The past and the future are a thought. That is your imagination. It's not real. The past and the future are not right now. The only thing that is happening is this current moment, the eternal now. So, point being, if you can become mindful of the fact that you determine how you feel through where you place your attention, holy shit, you've unlocked a fucking treasure chest, because now you can be intentional and really consciously choose to determine how you feel by what you focus on. Hope that makes sense. Think about the concepts of denial and self-deception. So what denial is, it's this act of thinking that you know it, thinking that there's nothing that you don't know. And it's this feeling of the know-it-all. Like, nobody has anything to tell you. There's nothing really new to learn. You know it. That's denial. And self-deception is similar. It's this fact that the mind is tricky. And let me see if I could come up with a quick example of how I have deceived myself before. What comes to my mind immediately is relationships with girls. Like, you do not know exactly what is going on when things get emotional and when we have desires, and there are expectations for an outcome. See, when it comes to like human relationships, sometimes we go into situations wanting it to be a certain way. And I've done this before. And then you don't even realize the tricks that you're playing on yourself. For example, you could have a great conversation with someone, but then only remember or replay certain parts of it. And then you'll forget about the other parts, and therefore you'll be deceiving yourself because you're overemphasizing certain parts of a conversation, but you're leaving out other portions. And literally, that is, I think, something that I do, or something that I used to do. Now it's something that I'm working on overcoming. Language is important. It's very, very powerful how you use your words. See, there's a big difference. I don't want to tangent much because this is off topic, but there's a difference between saying I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow and I might go to the gym, maybe. Big difference, big difference. What's unique is sometimes we have to look a bit deeper. So think about this. You have a piece of paper. How do you get that piece of paper? Well, of course, it comes from a tree. Of course, we know that. But how do you get the tree? Well, a tree needs soil, it needs sunlight, it needs water. So therefore, without the sun, without clouds, we don't have paper. And we can go even deeper, even deeper. So how do you cut down a tree? Well, you need a person, a human. And how does the human have the energy to cut down the tree? The human needs bread. The human needs calories and high quality fuel to have the energy to cut down the tree. You get my point? And then you can just keep going even deeper. Like, where do you get the fuel for the human? The bread, the food. You need the wheat. You need the animals. And you need the plants. It's all so deep if you will look deep enough. Everything is connected if you will make the connections. Very interesting. It's so interesting. But like, how do you even ask those questions? Well, to ask those questions, you got to be aware. And like, what is awareness? Well, it's not distraction. That's what awareness is not. So here's my hint to you. If you are going through your days on autopilot, you're distracted, you are unconsciously doing things. If you pick up your phone every, whatever, if you are doing things unconsciously, you're opening the fridge without really choosing to. It's like you scroll for 30 minutes and you don't even know 30 minutes passed. That means you are distracted. You are not focused. So how do we reduce our distractions? Is that the best question to ask? I'm not sure. I'll ponder on that. To reduce your distractions, first you need a clear priority, a crystal clear priority. And from there, you need to break down that priority into smaller steps. So the priority should be a bigger picture act, something that takes thousands and thousands of hours to accomplish. And of course, you can have smaller priorities within your big picture priority. And from there, you need to break it down. And what do you break it down into? Your daily actions, your habits. Okay? And where do we start? Well, you don't add new habits first. What you do is you unlearn, you uninstall your shit habits. Okay, so first you got to be real with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. So maybe take a piece of paper, just draw a line down the middle, say habits that raise my energy, habits that make me feel good, and on the other side, habits that drain my energy, habits that put me into a low frequency state of consciousness. That's the complex language. I try not to be too complex because I know we're all on a spectrum. Some people will like the complex vocabulary, but others are going to be like, what is this guy talking about? So I want to make sure that I balance the complexity with the straightforward, precise language. And I hope that makes sense. So take that paper, do that activity. I promise you. If you're driving, I understand. But if you're not driving, and even if you are, take a note. Do this activity. Habits on one side that fuel you, habits on the other side that drain you. Okay. So you identify your priorities, you identify your habits, and then we need to develop our awareness. We need to train our awareness. With the habits, you want to realize that you might be distracting yourself. You might be numbing and suppressing your true voice. And you might be suppressing your negative feelings that come from the knowing that you could be much more than you currently are. See, it's okay to be where you are, my friend. It's completely okay to be where you are. It's not okay to stay that way. Okay? You gotta be growing. Humans are meant to create, to build, to evolve, to learn. I hope this helps. When you're healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, life begins to feel like a fucking game. See, when you're younger, that's what life is. You don't overthink when you're younger. You are just being. You're running around, you're aimless, you're stress-free, you're simply being. Well, if you had a good childhood. I know not everyone had great parents, and I've been blessed to grow up with a loving mom, just a great mom. And you see, I don't have both great parents, but one good parent, I come to realize that's plenty enough for me. And what I'm getting at is when we're young, we are free from the overthinking mind. We are free from expectations that are planted from society. See, the biggest risk you could take in life is taking no risk at all. Because the route that society puts you down is this, oh, yeah, we didn't give you financial education, but you're 18 years old. You know, you're an adult, but you're kind of also still stupid and young and ignorant. And, well, you could go bankrupt for any sort of financial debt except for the college education. So what are we going to do? Well, society says it's smart for an 18-year-old to take on 80,000, 200,000, 150K worth of debt. Oh, and by the way, did I mention it's not forgivable? It's the only financial debt that you can't go bankrupt for, that you can't clear. What a game. I wonder who crafted that up. Very unique, very wise. So it's very interesting how society creates this pre-paven road for you. And by the way, the road goes like this. We don't educate you on financial education, but go and get into debt. And then, oh yeah, now you're in debt. So you're kind of a slave to that debt, and, especially since it's not forgivable. Okay, so how about you just work for us, work for our corporations until you're 60. Thanks. See you in your next life. Oh man, this system, this society, there's so much beauty in it, but holy shit, there is a lot of corruption as well. In college, oh man, college is one of the most corrupt things that you can even fathom. It is mind-blowing, and hey, I'm not against it. I have friends with PhDs, and they're great people. But my point is that society's programming you, and it's very hard to go your own route when you've been programmed. When you think that you're alone, you feel as if nobody is with you, as if everyone is doing the safe, the common route, and you're the one like being weird. That's a tough thing to deal with, but the truth is it can't be more twisted. It can't be farther from the truth. It's mind-blowing the amount of people who go to college and will get into debt for a degree that cannot pay off their debt. See, if you really have a passion for engineering, being a doctor, being a nurse, being a lawyer, if that's like your true passion and it's not just coming from this societal program to want status, to play the status game, if it's an actual deep natural curiosity and a passion, hell yeah, go to college, do the thing. But the point is that unfortunately, most people don't have the natural passion. They're just programmed. They just want the status. They just want to play materialistic games. And so I touched on this earlier. I'll touch on it again just in case you think I'm riffing on materialism. See, nah, practical success is respectable. I think we all should be wealthy. Why not? I mean, if you want a good life, you should be wealthy because money problems, there's a lot of money problems. And guess what? You get wealthy, you're solving so many potential tough situations before they happen. But here's the raw truth. You solve all those situations, you're still left with problems, man. There's still mental and emotional problems. So materialism is cool, like make your money, be successful, be practical, but don't you forget about the other two domains. And there's more too, emotional, spiritual, the mind. It's all deeper than they want you to think. So much deeper than they want you to think. When you're taking time to identify your priorities, I do not want you to feel stressed, okay? I know it can be stressful when you're thinking, planning about the future. It can create some anxiety. What I want you to do is be present in this moment and to ask yourself a few questions and to fucking write about them, to do this work. Because you do this assignment, guarantee you it helps you, guarantee you feel a bit clearer and more peaceful afterwards. So, number one, what are your main distractions and how are they harming you? And number two, what are a few healthier actions you can replace those distractions with? See, this is a process. You need to hold a long-term perspective when it comes to doing this deeper work. See, life, it's not about where you end up. It's not about wishing and wanting, oh, I could be this, I should be this. It's about actively doing what you need to do to feel good in the moment. Okay? Focus on the moment. Focus on what you need to do right now, today, to feel a bit better. Last questions I'll leave you with. I think, if you answer at least 2 of the 4 questions I give you, I appreciate you. And if you answer all 4, you're a monster. Let's go. So, what is a route that you could take where you could earn money while doing something you enjoy? It's a good question. And what don't you want to do for an income? Another great question. See, for me, I knew as an 18-year-old, I had no interest working in a cubicle. I wasn't going to say like no corporate job ever. I was very much leaning like there was only a 5% chance I wanted to do a corporate career. But I still had the door open a bit, 5% is not 0%. But I 100% said no cubicle, not for me. I knew that at 18. I knew that. If you've enjoyed, first of all, I appreciate you for listening. And second, just the whole point of this, I'm doing these for fun, for fulfillment. I want to help people, bottom line. So how do we get more people to be helped by this? Fucking just like the video for me. And I love to hear what you think. I love to get some feedback. Whatever you feel, positive, negative, just lay it on me. I'm cool with it. Comments, let me know. And I will also plug, I finished my big project recently, and see, I offer one-on-one coaching for people who are real serious about changing their lives, but I also understand not everyone has the financials to invest in one-on-one coaching. So I built a project, and I'll link both that in the description. It's just a much cheaper way to start developing yourself. And then I'll also link a form where if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I'll get back to you after you fill out the form. So much love. Lastly, just if you got a cool buddy who is focused who's serious about leveling up, improving themselves, shoot this their way. Share the link with them. Tell them like what you enjoyed about it. Don't just send them the raw link. Give them some inspiration to open the link and look through the video to listen. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Let's go.